Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Matchbook Horse Racing Podcast. We've got a pretty light episode for you, RE races. It's not the sort of 10 or 11s, but we've got 7 solid races to preview for you. And that includes the Coral Eclipse. And again, not the deepest renewal of it, but it's a very interesting one. And we're a bit split at the top. So we're going to come to that. That we is Ed Quigley at longshot_Ted and Charlie Poste at Charlie Poste. Welcome along, both of you. Hope you're both well. I'm sure you are. I'm going to remind you to like and subscribe. Not you, Ed and Charlie, but our viewers and listeners, because it makes it much easier for you to digest each and every podcast that we put out there. And that's across all sports as well. We've just been giving our very own Ashes podcast off air, but we're going to get something to racing now. As we are about 10 minutes before the first ball is bowled. But Charlie and Ed won't have it on in the background, will you?
No, promise we haven't. Yeah.
Good. Dan Hussey, incidentally, an Irishman through and through, but a big fan of Bazball, as he's put it. A big fan of
He's got the t-shirt.
About as Irish as Declan Rice. So the first race we're going to be previewing is the feature. That is the Coral Eclipse. Prices are as follows. You've got Paddington, who now is the clear favourite at 2.1, 2.25 for Emily Upjohn, then Dubai on a 12.0, Westwind Blows 26.0. Look, I don't have a bet in this. I know who I would side with, but I thought a ding-dong argument between the two of you would be best. So Charlie Poste, take it away in the blue corner.
In the blue corner, yeah. As in, look, I mean, it's an intriguing matchup, isn't it? The 3-year-olds against the older generation. But yeah, I've come down with Paddington. I think, since he got beat at Ascot on his first start of his career, he's unbeaten. He's not looked back. And I just love the way that he keeps progressing from race to race. And I thought his performance in the St. James Palace when he beat Chaldean was massively improved, even from the Irish Guineas. And he just looks to be going the right way. His style of racing suggests the Marna Quarter shouldn't be an issue. He's out of a Mondiaux mare as well, which adds further weight to that argument. And I feel there's just more upside to him than Emily Upjohn. They've got the massive amount of respect for her and the way she's been campaigned. I also wonder, much as she can race keenly, but her best form has all been over a mile and a half. And the big thing when you look through this is there's a distinct lack of pace. Simon Christopher's horse, Westwind Blows, has gone forward before, but isn't a confirmed out-and-out front runner. Aidan O'Brien's mentioned that Ryan will go forward on Paddington. And I just wonder if he'll be able to dictate this the way that he wants to, go sensible, use his pace as a miler, and it might just suit him better than Emily Upjohn. It's a narrow call, but yeah, I'm Paddington for me.
All right. And in the red corner, Ed Quigley.
Yeah, very eloquently put, to be honest with you, from Charlie there. Yeah, again, if pushed, I'd side with Emily Upjohn. I just wonder if she might just have, I say it's daft as it sounds, a bit too much zip in the sense of, obviously, Paddington is going up to 10 furlongs for the first time, so he's going into unknown territory stamina-wise. Emily Upjohn, Charlie alludes to, has been doing the bulk for running over a mile and a half, but she does have that kind of 10 furlong zip in the locker. She did absolutely bolt up, albeit in a novice event last year over this course of distance. And she's not short of gears. And I agree with Charlie to an extent, and that tactics are going to be the big conundrum here. I'd imagine Paddington and Westwind Blows go forward, and it's a game of chess with the other two in behind. I mean, it's a marginal call. I would be with Emily Upjohn. I just think with that chat for a rainy day about the mayor's allowance and everything, swinging it in her favour potentially. I'm not got a strong view. What I have got a strong view on is, unlike you, Tom, who you're an out-and-out Twitter troll. If this was the National Hunt season, it'd be absolute meltdown. 4-runner race on a Saturday Group 1. Game's gone. It's on its knees. Cancel it. All this kind of nonsense. Where are Nicky Henderson's runners? I mean, it's absolutely pathetic, this, isn't it? The Eclipse, 4 runners. Is a spectacle. It leaves me a bit cold. But in terms of 4 betted proposition, put it this way, Emily, I'm going with whoever goes off SP as outsider of the two between Emily Upjohn and Paddington. And I think Emily Upjohn, in receipt of weight from the other two, with her mare's allowance. She is a tentative selection, given that I think she's got the versatility over 12 or 10 furlongs. And I suppose a final point as well, perhaps her preparation for this, I suppose, I'd imagine she's been targeted at this, whereas it feels like a little bit of an afterthought with Paddington, in the sense if he is on just such a roll at the moment. I think they're just going to let him keep rolling, if you see what I'm saying. I can't imagine a month ago the Eclipse was probably at the forefront of Ballydoyle's plans. He's turned out just over 2 weeks after his race at Royal Ascot, whereas Emily Upjohn's been teed up for this and given a month off since winning the Coronation on comeback when seeing off Westover. So, yeah, tentative vote to Emily Upjohn, but it'd just be fascinating to see the game of chess between Will Buick and Ryan Moore and how that all unfolds.
Well done for getting the jump season in there, first of all. Very good. The difference being that the flat season has more regular good racing, I guess. So we're not long after Ascot, so the 4-runner race doesn't feel so bad. Whereas we get fed it more in drips in the jump season. So when you do get a smaller field, you're like, what? I hear you. And you may have seen the banner saying "Not long now" scrolling along the bottom from Daniel Hussey, which frankly is disgraceful.
Yeah, but on a serious point, I've got the Novak Djokovic Jerry Colomb double, because Jerry Colomb can't lose the Gold Cup. So I'm just I'm just finding everything I can, like every other certainty I can, just to double it up with him. So
somebody get him out. This is absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. He's gone. Bye. He's been brought back in.
Yeah. 4 to 6 certainty in the tennis and just double it up with everything else. But anyway, yeah.
The only thing I'll add to the Coral Eclipse is I was all out to back Emily Upjohn. The hood off just worries me because of her antics at Ascot last year. But I do think I'd make her favourite personally. But the hood off means I'm a no bet. Good. We move on we're going to go back to Sandown now, to the charge at 150. And if I was organised, I'd have got the prices up. We have got Anaf in there at 7.0, as is Marshman. Nice and open. This Equilateral is 7.5, as is Get Ahead Equality 9.0, Time to Flow 9.0. Rarsell 11.0, chaps. I was very tempted with Rarsell off the back of his run last year. I have come down on Marshman. 3-year-olds have got a good record in it. I don't like Anaf personally, given his run style. Drawn 11, bar one meeting this year, and they do move that rail in the middle of the track. One meeting this year, I think the first or the second, you wanted to be off the rail, but since then you wanted to be bang on it. Drawn 11, probably better than if he was drawn 1, but still, he's going to have to make up ground on the outside. I don't love that. Marshman won't be too far away. For all it's a stiff 5, it's really difficult often to make up ground. And I think this track will suit better than Ascot did last time. I thought 7.0 was very fair. But the likes of Equality and Rarsell did interest me, Ed Quigley.
Yeah, I think there's a few of us singing from the same hinge sheet here. I'm going to take a chance on Rarsell at the prices. I think this is a slightly deeper race than last year's renewal. I mean, when you put the two side by side, on official figures, there are better horses in here against Rarsell this time round. But I think he's been a horse with lots of valid excuses this season. Obviously, he ran really well on his comeback on a suitable soft ground at Newmarket. And then there was the draw bias of all draw biases, wasn't there, at that Haydock meeting at the end of May, where he may as well have been declared an on-runner when he trailed in. He ran a really good race when trying to win the Achilles Stakes again. Just touched off in third. But the kind of pace was split all across the track. Again, it was a bit of a muddling affair. I thought he ran an absolute stormer. And then last time out in the King's Stand, you can forget that. To put it bluntly, he was out of his depth at that level. He's the defending champion. This is his race. He won it last year in stall 6. Well, he's got stall 5 here, so it's more or less kind of lightning striking twice, I hope. I say we know he acts over course and distance. The ground should touch upon as that they did have quite a bit of rain earlier in the week. I think at the time of recording, it was good to soft, good in places on the sprint course, but it is drying up all the time. I think it's due to be 27 degrees Friday into Saturday in the Isha venue. So ground getting as quick as possible will suit Rarsell. And for a horse who's been there and done it, I just thought with a race full of horses who bring question marks in some shape or form, I'd side with him at the prices personally. So yeah, Rarsell win and place, and my selection for the Mick Appleby team.
Charlie.
Yeah, not a lot much more to add. I mean, like Ed said, to me, it was just price related. I thought this was a really open race where you could give chances to plenty, and also you could pick holes in plenty as well. And Russell come in here as the winner of this race last year. I liked his run at Haydock, as Ed said. Ascot you can almost write off, and there's reasons to believe that he could just be coming to his peak. And I think this trip at Sandown suits him really well, Ed. So yeah, Tom. So yeah, Russell for me, and with the price, he's a win and place player as well.
Yeah, he's a fair enough price at 11.0. I agree with that. We kick on to a really difficult handicaps. The Challenge Class 2 over a mile. Indemnified now with Alice Haynes is 7.0, 7.5 for Perotto, Uzo 8.5, Dutch Decoy, and Skeptic at 9.0. Bigger price, 10.0. Sorry, it's bigger price as the rest. I haven't looked who we've gone for here. 3 different horses, I suppose, unsurprisingly. You are with the horse that ran in the Hunt Cup last time, Charlie. Actually went off favourite.
Yeah, Perotto. I mean, he's had the 2 starts for Roger Varian. I was with him on the Victoria Cup when he ran a reasonable first start for the yard, and then he ran okay behind Jimi Hendrix in the Hunt Cup. As in, I just feel that I just can't desert him because I've been with him a couple of times this year already, and I think he's going to strike and drop in somewhere. The Hood first time, I didn't really know what to make of that. I'll be hard pushed to say it's a positive, but it's on there anyway. Roger Varian's also going well. I think Tom Marquand has rode him once and he ran well for him there. And he's won his only start, Perotto, at Sandown as well. So it's an ultra competitive race, but it's more that, like I say, I've been with him on his 2 starts this year, and I'm not about to jump ship now.
Yeah, hooded for the first time, 7.5. Ed?
Yeah, tricky old race. I'm going for a thoroughly exposed individual, but one who just seems to save his best for this course, and that is Mason. Only ran 4 days ago at Hamilton when just narrowly touched off. Doesn't have any secrets from the handicapper, and in fact, on the figures, will need a career best effort. But does come alive at this venue. Form figures of course a distance of 1, 1, and 2. Sandown, as we know, very quirky track. If you go well here, you go well here, for want of a better phrase. And this horse is versatile in regards to ground as well, so I'm not really bothered what happens with underfoot conditions. There's one on heavy, there's one on good to firm. Comes live at this venue. Tommy Jakes takes £7 off of the Alice Haynes team to try and negate that kind of career high figure, if you like. I think Mason in the win and place markets. Mason hit the frame, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, Tommy Jakes in for his second ever winner. And he's only had 27 rides, but he takes off 7. Winner at the track when last seen there. I went around the houses here. I thought there's not a lot of pace on, so that worried me slightly for my selection. I thought on a line through that, Spirit Catcher could be interesting. I might end up backing the horse depending on the ground. I think the quicker the better for staying on the pace. So if it does come up quick, I think Spirit Catcher could be interesting. But Intelligent is all of a sudden quite a fair mark if you put a line through the run last time, which was really poor. I don't know what happened because he'd run well in the Hunt Cup the year before. He was probably just about drawn on the wrong side given how the race developed because they didn't go hard enough his side. But he ran an absolute stinker for when he was closest to the stands rail. Maybe the ground was too quick. I don't know. It was quick at Ascot all week, wasn't it? But other than that, prior to that, he put in a really good effort. And if you look at his form after the Hunt Cup last year, he was second to a subsequent Group 1 scorer. So I think he's worth backing at the prices, definitely. At, what was it, 15.0, something like that? Anyway, I think he's worth a bet. For all I'm not certain the track and the run of the race is absolutely going to suit. He's just too well treated not to back. Okay, move on to the Distaff, 15.0 Intelligent, incidentally. The Distaff 3-year-old fillies here. Ed, straight off the bat, who do you like?
I'm just going with the highest rated. I actually think maybe a non-runner. I'm getting the news coming through. I was going to go with Breege. I think is a doubt, according to what I'm being told. So in the case of Breege not being a runner, my views, in the words of Duncan Bannatyne on Dragon's Den, I'm out. I'm going to sit this one out and leave it to Charlie.
Yeah. Well, she was in it about 2 hours ago, so there you are. She's not now. Charlie.
Yeah, again, like Ed said, that there's there's really only 3 on ratings that can win this race. I think I'm just looking at price I got up in front of me, and then Bridestone for the Goslings and William Buick's also in the equation. But I came down with Magical Sunset. She's been pretty highly tried this year. She kept good company, but she ran really well in the Sandringham on her first start of the mile and won her group up the far side. And yeah, I think that seemed to suit her really well, and I think she can make further progress with at this trip. Ryan Moore's on top, which is never a negative, and it was just a case of I just thought she presented a bit more value, than the other two. She doesn't have a lot of ground to make up on the favourite Breeze, who it sounds like is out anyway. And so yeah, Magical Sunset, and if she was 7.5, 8.0, which she probably isn't going to be now, I'd have backed her in the win and place market as well. The other one I just thought was quite interesting, just because it seems like a weird thing to do, was Mystic Pearl for the Haggis team, rated 78 in here. He did sort of similar last year with a filly called Queen Animatu that actually ran poorly in this, but then went on to pick up a couple of listed races. So I won't be back in Mystic Pearl, but I'll be keeping an eye on her to see how she runs, because it just seems bizarre for a trainer William Haggis' stature to be, running a horse rated 78 in a race like this, unless he's just trying to nick a bit of cheap black type.
Yeah, you'd imagine he is, but I agree. It's a strange one, given that she's got so much to find.
Yeah, and Queen Animatu did last year. She was only rated about 80, 82 when she ran in this. And then, like I say, then beyond it ended up proving herself up to sort of listed company. So I'll just keep a watching brief on her.
So 5.0 now for Magical Sunset, and 3.5, sorry, for Stenton Glider, my selection, who obviously with Breege in there was second favourite. I'll still back her, just small stakes. Mainly the yard are in such better form than when this filly was running earlier on this year. When she ran at Newbury, she ran a good race behind Remarque. For all, Remarque was much better because she drifted across the trap. I quite like her, and then she ran no race at the Guineas, but it was probably softer ground than ideal. She went to Germany and ran well. She won't be too far off the pace. Again, I just don't think you want to be at Sandown. And the yard are flying along now, having had a really quiet time of it. So small stakes, Stenton Glider for me. Haydock we go then to the 1 mile 6 handicap. Jeez, I thought this was seriously difficult as well. I thought this was probably just about the hardest race of the day. I will give you prices when you give me your selections, Ed.
Yeah, it's that type of race, isn't it? Sorry, I'm just trying to call the car back. Joe Root's just got out in the cricket, you see, so it's absolutely thrown me. Yeah, yeah. Not that I've got it on or anything. Right, yeah. In the mile 6 handicap, I am with Flower of Dubai in the win and place markets. Tom.
Lovely. What price have we got?
That's what I'm queuing. That's what I was queuing you up for. That for the.
I'm going to tell you. I've got it now. Oh, 23.0.
Wow. Well, that's a lot bigger than I thought, to be honest with you. I looked at this with no prices or any idea. Did my rough tissue. I got her about a 12's poke. So, yeah, I just think that she's interesting over this proper test of stamina. I think a mile 6 will see her in better light. She's only had the 4 starts. She won by head in a minor event at Wolverhampton last time out. I mean, it was in a handicap off 77. It wasn't a great race, but it's more about the way the race was run. She was slowly away. With half a mile to go, Harry Burns was getting her off the bridle. I mean, she was under the pump from a long way out, but the penny really seemed to drop inside the closing stages. And by the time she hit the line, she was in top gear. That was over a mile and a half. She's up to mile 6 here. Totally open to any amount of improvement. She's only had the 4 starts. I just think she's gloriously slow, for want of a better phrase. Looks a resolute galloper. I think this extra 2 furlongs could bring further improvement for the Christopher team. We're having a cracking season. David Egan on board. And yeah, I'm surprised to see her as big as that, because similar kind of logic to a horse at a higher level that the yard have got called Chess Piece, who started off over 10, went up to mile and a half, and has gradually gone through the gears stamina wise. And I see kind of Flower of Dubai at a lower level doing the same thing. The Chrisfords, they aren't afraid to send their individuals over a trip sooner rather than later. You know, some trainers like to hold and then not overface them, but they need a trip. And Flower of Dubai, that's a big old price in my view. So yeah, 23's win and place. I'm quite excited by that.
Good. I'm going to roll the dice with Banderas, who's drawn one. I think Neil Callan's having an excellent season. Cheap pieces on, and he was up there at Chester, and I'm pretty sure they'll look to repeat that trick. Again, Haydock for me, if there's not a lot of pace on, it's really difficult to get into it. There's probably a bit more on here than in the old Newton, but I still wouldn't want to be too far back. And I'm taking a punt that it's going to be soft ground at Haydock because there's a load of weather due on Saturday. It could just batter it down all day. Might not, but that's my angle into Banderas, who seems to want a bit of cut underfoot and is very likely raced. I think a mark of 80 could be fair enough here. So Banderas at 9.0, Charlie.
Lordship for me, as in he won with absolute any amount in hand the last day at Yarmouth. The second horse, Miss Cynthia, runs today at Sandown, so it'd be interesting to see whether she gives the form a boost. This also again was won his last two starts, up 8 for the latest win, but again seemed to relish the mile 6 trip, and just again from a really shrewd operation. It wouldn't surprise me if this horse has the ability to rate a good bit higher than this yet. And this has been won by some good horses in the last few years, hasn't it? Sir Ron Priestley and Favourite Moon, and it probably, whatever the result of your selection, it's probably possibly a race to keep on side of, because I'd say there's some nice staying 3-year-olds in here.
Lordship at 6.0. Rogue C incidentally heads the betting at 5.5, also on handicap debut, but none of us are with that. So to see the stars. We move on to the 240. This is the Lancashire Oaks, and it's Mimic You who's at the top of the betting, who is 2.25. Sea Silk Road is 5.5. Aristia is 6.5. Time Lock 9.0. Bigger prices the rest. I think a few of us put up Time Lock last time. I'm going to chance her again. Spoke to Roger Charlton last night in Newbury, who said no idea what happened last time, but he thinks possibly the ground was too quick for what he thought it would suit. It was very quick that day at Haydock. She was disappointing. I thought it meant she was a bit outpaced. I think a bit further on slightly easier ground is going to suit. Maybe she's not good enough, but I thought she'd beat Sea Silk Road that day. I think she's better than Aristia. It's just Mimic You who might be too good, but then she looked a bit awkward last time. For all I didn't think Kieran O'Neill got it spot on. So I'm going to go for a win and place bet on Time Lock, small stakes. Charlie.
Yeah, and obviously Mimic You, best form is all over a mile 6 as well, potentially. So, the mile and a half trip would be interesting. I've stayed with Seasick Road. I was with her last time over the course and distance. I just think she seems to really come of age as a 4-year-old. And she possibly has more upside still potentially than Mimic You, and just has greater scope. The time of her race last time at Haydock as well compared favourably to the handicap over the same course and distance. And yeah, as a daughter of See the Stars, there's no reason that this filly shouldn't continue to go forward. And like I say, I just feel that her ceiling could possibly be higher yet than Mimic You has shown last season, especially.
And Ed, you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one with the least question marks to answer, really. Mimic You, it was more a price thing. I thought Mimic You a bit skinny, and there does seem to be the school of thought that if the heavens unleash and we do get it on the soft side, that's swaying it massively in Mimic You's favour. Maybe it will, in the sense that we know she properly stays a mile 6, so coming down the trip on rain softened ground, she could put all her stamina into play. But Sea Silk Road's well on soft ground before. Did it very nicely over course of distance last time out. Yes, this is a bit tougher, but I thought they would be closer together in the market than they are, I suppose, is the bottom line. Hence, I think Silk Road 5.5 or thereabouts, a little bit too big in my view.
And Matthew agrees. Matthew, thank you for that. Peter, I forgot to read out your Paddington selection. So good luck with that. Charlie agreed with you.
I think he's poking fun at me. But yeah, it's very true, Peter. Yeah, that was a great statement of mine.
Oh, did you say that? Unbeaten since
I think I did. Yeah.
I like that.
I think I said beaten on debut and unbeaten since. So yeah, very good.
Peter piss take. I like it.
Yeah.
The 315 then is the old Newton. prices are as follows. Maybe I'll just give them to you as we get to our selections. Ed, I nearly went with this horse. La Yakel is 6.0. Cumulonimbus is 8.0. Max at 9.0. I was nearly with Cumulonimbus, who will probably go forward here.
Yeah, I thought so. We'll try to set a good gallop, bowl along. If rain does arrive, not a problem. In fact, I think 3 of the 4 career wins have come with soft somewhere in the going description. For all that, it was quicker over course of distance last time out. The application, the cheap pieces seem to have perked up this individual who's a bit of a blossoming 4-year-old. And all in all, again, it's not a race I'm not going to pretend I've got a real strong view on, because there are a whole host of Jekyll and Hyde characters in here. But Cumulonimbus in the win and place market should be disappointed even off this inflated mark. I thought Charlie Fellow's representative could get in the shake-up. So, yep, that'd be my play in this one, Tom.
Okay, and Charlie.
Yeah, I can see that case for sure. I went win and place with Toshizu. Was trained in Ireland by Joseph O'Brien, formerly down 8 now for Roger Fell since he's moved over here. And just there's a few times twice at Newmarket over 8 and 9 furlongs, and then Epsom over 10 the last day. He's made real strong late headway, looking for all the world like this mile and a half trip should be right up his street. He also in Ireland certainly was ridden a bit more positively than he has been to date, and I don't know. I just wonder whether this had been a sort of little bit of a plan in the making for this horse, and yeah, win and place. He's drawn fine in 5, and if Johnny Pete gets him out the gate and we get a bit more of a positive show, I think this trip will suit him really well, and I could see him outrunning this price for sure.
I've got a couple in here. First of all, I've got All Right Sunshine for Keith Dalglish. I think it's calling it a day soon, isn't it? This week.
This is it. This is the last runner.
Last runner.
Yeah, this is it. I think, again, I don't think the horse will get too far back, stays further. If there is cut underfoot, I think that's a plus. It's just not a lot of pace on here. So I thought he was very interesting. And I thought Sheer Rocks off the back of Epsom, who proved that he could lay up with them. The trouble is he's slowly away and he's drawn 1. But over this course and distance, there are gaps the way the course is laid out that you can make up a bit of ground. So I don't want him to get too far back if he's slowly away, but hopefully he can do what he did at Epsom, which is he'll probably break a bit near the rear, but use one of those rail gaps, if you like, to just make up a bit of ground, because there are opportunities inside the first 2 furlongs to do that. And again, he's got form with cut underfoot. So All Right Sunshine and Sheer Rocks at Cumulonimbus, incidentally, is 8.0. Sheer Rocks is 9.0. All Right Sunshine is 21.0. And Charlie, do you give your selections price?
Yeah, Toshizu.
What did you give the price? I can't.
I mean, I've got it up at sort of 13.0 here. But
yeah, you're spot on. You're spot on. Yeah, 13.0 for Roger Fell, Sean Murray, and Johnny Pete. All right, that is every selection up there. Matchbook 0 long shot time now. This is, I think most of them are going to come in that race we just mentioned. Matchbook 0, if you haven't checked it out, do from 10 a.m. every day. The market will be up. And in fact, it's now from the first race, an hour before the first race. So have a look, £20 win maximum, and you're most likely to get best odds with the nature of the exchange anyway. But with Matchbook 0, there's 0 margin, there's 0 commission. So you don't have to take any commission into account. If your horse wins, all the money's yours, and you're most likely to be getting better odds with that. £20 win maximum, the market live 1 hour before the first race each day. Mine is All Right Sunshine. Charlie?
Yeah, Toshizu, my long shot, definitely in that race.
And Ed, a bit of a curveball.
Yeah, I'm going with a scholarship in the 450 at Sandown, a horse who's absolute Jekyll and Hyde character. And it might be he actually wants proper deep ground. But he ran in that mile race at Haydock last time out, which Covey won, the Silver Bowl at Haydock. He clearly didn't stay. Pulled Clifford Lee's arms out the entire way, and he's basically stopped to walk up the running. So they've abandoned that idea of running him over a mile. He's back to 7. So he's a total joker in the pack, but off 90, this is a horse who, contested the likes of the Commentary Stakes as a 2-year-old. He's got a lot of class in the locker. It's just whether he's on a going day or not. But he may be more or less outsider of the field here. So I'm going to take a chance back at 7. He settles and comes good.
Okay, scholarship for Ed in that 450 at Sandown. Best lays we come to now. I'm going with Mimic You. I think she's a bit of a take-on job at 2.25. She looks a bit awkward to me, and I think there's ammunition in behind her in the betting. That's the 240 at Haydock, the Lancashire Oaks. Charlie.
Yeah, I was just going to put the Foxes up at Belmont in the Belmont Derby, especially if he ends up shorter than sort of 3.0. He's drawn 11, so it's not going to be that easy for Oisin Murphy. I think it's his 4th start in little over sort of 2 and a bit months, and against specialist turf horses over there. I mean, and there's the Godolphin or Silver Knot in against him, and a couple of others that have won over at the track and distance before. And yeah, it was just price related. I just thought if he ends up going off very short on the wave of the strength of the Derby form, I'd be willing to take him on.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to have a look at that. Best bets. I didn't put mine in. In fact, nor did Ed. So, Charlie, your best bet.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Peroto because he's been a bit of a project so far this year. So, I think he's a decent enough price. So, Peroto for me at Sandown.
Ed.
Yeah, I'll be Razel, win a place in the charge. It's fascinating Charlie mentions the Foxes because they were deliberating going for the Eclipse with him, weren't I? Actually thought he had real good chance in the Eclipse coming back at 10 round there. But they've gone to America. On face of it, it looks a much tougher. I think he'd been better off in the Eclipse against 2 rivals around here than, as you say, drawn in the car park over there. But, time will tell, I suppose. But yeah, Razel, win and place. Big price, I think.
Okay. Mine's Marshman in the 150 at Sandown. Ed, I'm sorry to take you on, but 3-year-old's good record in it, and I think he'll be able to lay up with them. But do like your selection as well. So Marshman, Peroto, and Rarsell are our best bets. We lost any more wickets, Ed?
No, we haven't. 86 for 4. Bairstow 11 not out. Stokes 7 not out. So.
Good.
Please tell me Root didn't get out walking down the wicket trying to smash someone out the park.
He was nicked it, and it was either keeper or slip got him. Yeah, that's all I caught out the corner of my eye. Yeah, caught behind for 18.
Carey doesn't drop much, does he, mine?
We could carry on for a long time.
We do a great an Ashes podcast. Would be
great.
We could.
Yeah. Ed wants Folks in instead of Bairstow. Unreal.
Absolutely. Yeah, best keeper in the world. Yeah.
I think Dan Hussey just made a prediction, hasn't he? He wants you to say.
Oh, sorry. What's he said? He has said Stokes 100 incoming. Can you state that for the record, please, Tom? Okay. That's what Dan Hussey thinks. Dan, I will give you 4.0 if you want to back that.
Has he got Irish heritage as well, Stokes, somewhere down the line?
He's Kiwi heritage, isn't he?
Yeah, he went to Dublin.
5.0, he says, and I'll back it. Fine. 25 quid max stake. Good.
He went to Dublin once, I think.
Yeah, on a night out with Dan. Yeah.
Right. Well done, everyone. Ed, pleasure. Charlie, pleasure.
Brilliant.
Having a lovely weekend all, and hope we found you plenty of winners. Bye-bye.